Welcome to BeastPod Official, the only official companion podcast to the massively popular MrBeast content library. I'm Pete, and I've been on Team Beast for a couple of years now, watching and loving every upload.
And I'm Cam, and I'm doing this podcast because Pete convinced me that we would get a free Tesla for talking about MrBeast.
It's more about the journey than the destination, Cam.
Okay.
We're setting out to discuss all things Beast, so listen along as we break down every upload that Jimmy, aka MrBeast, drops. Today, we're talking about, would you rather have a Lamborghini or this house?
And I brought on a very special guest. Larry, our landlord, is in the studio with us today.
Hey, Larry here.
The guy we pay our respects to once a month, sometimes more frequently.
And Larry, right off the bat, just want to thank you. I know we always get our rent paid in time, but it's up to you to collect it in time. And I want to say thank you for doing that month after month.
Yeah, of course. It's maybe the easiest part of my job.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I think it needs to be known.
And applauded. And
Yes.
honestly, Cam, we didn't hear a roar from you. If you could roar in praise of this man.
I kind of like that.
Yeah. Would you like to join in?
Roar.
That's how you know he's a landlord right there.
That was a thick roar. That had depth and width and breadth.
It had
to
Thank
timbre.
you.
Timbre.
Yeah, timbre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, guys, to start off this episode, we had a gentleman tasked with choosing between a Lamborghini and a house. 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom.
Easiest challenge ever.
Yeah.
Lambo, right?
I'm thinking Lambo. Yeah, definitely. That's what I would have picked.
Why? What? Where does that? You know what happens as soon as you take that Lamborghini out for a spin?
What?
You look awesome.
You have fun in it?
It loses its value.
Hmm.
You get into that house,
Which you can't drive.
Yeah, you can't drive it. You can fit families in it. You can, I mean, even on your own end, you guys could, you could use a house probably. You know.
You could have a pizza party in it, I guess. It's easier to do than in a Lamborghini. I guess that's one thing the house.
Well, I don't own a car, so
Okay.
I don't really believe in car ownership. I only believe in property ownership. So it's a tough.
It's like old fashioned.
And how many properties do you own, Larry?
Right now I own 8. I have one property that I am looking at acquiring. I have a bid in. We'll see. It's a 7. It's a 7-unit apartment complex out in Playa del Rey, California.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
That's near the beach, right?
Close enough.
Okay.
Not on it directly, but I you know, sometimes you say on the beach and it's off the beach.
Okay.
Now, where do you live? In one of your properties or?
Yeah, I live in a duplex with another one of my tenants.
Wow.
And how is that?
It's nice. It's we stay out of each other's business, and then you know it's easier than picking up rent from you guys because I just have to walk downstairs and pick it up.
That's nice.
So I feel like a lot of people out there are hating on landlords, saying that they're just hiking up rent or they're being unreasonable or they're not fixing crap. I'd love to get a landlord's perspective on that before I guess we dive into this.
I mean, maybe the best way to look at it is at this video, right?
Yeah.
Like for you guys to have a Lamborghini, you also need a landlord, right?
Yeah.
I guess it is one or the other.
So it's like having me in the world lets guys like you have Lamborghinis.
I never thought about it.
Well,
like
that's
that.
even more reason to pick the Lamborghini.
Yeah, I mean, I listen. I know 100 out of 100 times I'm choosing the house. That's just how I'm built. Maybe I'm wired a little differently.
Sure.
I have that killer gene in me.
Yeah.
That drive to own land,
when you see
property.
when you see that option, it's very easy for you to say if you're given a free house or anything else, you're always going for the house.
Yeah, I am, and I think they mentioned that house is $90,000 more
about to say,
than the Lamborghini was, and I think kind of in my head instantly I'm thinking, you know, $90K a Lambo is usually what, $250, $300.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
that
you're talking
house
about $390, $350. You got how many bedrooms probably in that? 4, probably North Carolina. I'm thinking instantly.
I think it was a 3-bedroom,
3-bedroom,
2-bath maybe.
Yeah.
3-bedroom, 2 baths. You could squeeze 6 people on that probably.
Yeah. And
Now
you're
how-
thinking you got to maximize profits
You know,
because
yeah,
you're
how much
someone
would you-
who does that.
Yeah.
How much would you charge for rent there? So say you were in that Mr. Beast challenge, you got that house, property value $390,000
How much am I charging rent?
for rent there.
Well, I think I put it on the market for $6,000 a month,
Yeah.
and then I let it. I slowly mark it down until I hook somebody.
Yeah. Because I mean, we pay what 7,000, but that's because we live in LA. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's
LA.
the,
You
it's
guys are
about the
lucky. You guys are
experience.
lucky that you only pay 7,000.
Yeah.
I'm doing you guys kind of a big solid. Just
We,
like
That's
we
what I've
appreciate
always
it.
told
we,
him.
We
Yeah.
super appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, so that was an easy challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on who you are. For a landlord, they would pick the house, of course. But like
Mhm.
for guys like us, Lamborghini,
I would go
easy
in on
pick.
the Lambo, yeah.
yeah.
And I think the guy who the contestant, the subscriber, I think he had some regrets. He picked that house, but I think the moment he saw that Lamborghini, he was like, "Whoa!"
You could always sleep in it.
The way the smoke was billowing around it, I think he was just like really wowed by it, and I think he had some regrets. But I mean,
I've never seen a Mr. Beast video until that video. I kind of I like the way he gives money out, and I like how he kind of gamifies it. Like he kind of, I don't want to jump around in the video. I don't know how you guys are doing it.
No,
but,
that's fine.
my favorite one was where he was offering for every video that the guy had watched, you would get an extra $100.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so I saw that, and I instantly think, I'm going to watch every Mr. Beast video right now, just in case this ever happens to me.
And be subscribed, because
yeah.
we know for a fact that the market rate for a Mr. Beast subscription, if he catches you out in public, I want to say 10,000.
Yeah, typically
Right
it is
now,
like a
going
nice
on 10K.
10,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy, I mean, there were some contestants throughout this video that were kind of losers. Like losers in the truest sense that we've seen it in the Mr. Beast catalog. A couple of these contestants really just struck out, and this guy, I think, was definitely on that losing end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 videos viewed, and you can see the completion bars as they're scrolling.
They weren't
down
even all
feed.
the way
That's
through
the
for
thing.
most of them.
Mr.
But
Beast
you
was
get a
doing him a
bonus.
favor.
Yeah.
You get a bonus if you watch it all the way through. You get $600.
But that's just embarrassing if you couldn't even make it all the way through a Mr. Beast video, because imagine if he had doubled. He got 600 because he completed 1 and watched 5 total. Imagine if he had gotten 1,000 just for watching the five little guys that he clicked on. Like he could have just made it all the way to the end and doubled that profit.
Yeah.
That would have been nice, and I think that was embarrassing. I mean, the whole.
What
world
would
got
you
to
have
see
you
that.
watched every Mr. Beast video?
We're getting there.
I mean,
getting
there are
We're getting
spots in the back.
I
catalog.
watched them all immediately after that.
Whoa! So this was the first, and you went down that rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
I could not stop.
How did you have time to watch it while doing your work as a landlord? I assume you're pretty busy, like maintaining properties and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I kind of think a part of my job as a landlord is to maximize my future profit earnings.
Yeah.
Obviously I rely on my monthly rent collection so that I could increase assets in my portfolio and, make it easier for me to fix things up when necessary, which is surprisingly less often than you guys would think. And and
other
so
things.
immediately when I do the mental math of, okay, I can spend 300 hours digesting every Mr. Beast video.
It's an investment.
Yeah.
It is
It's
an
an
investment.
Because I am sure. I mean, I hang out in kind of a rarefied circle of people. I'm sure I've met Mr. Beast before and didn't realize who it was.
Has Mr. Beast ever rented from you potentially?
Probably not. But
Do you have friends he might have rented from?
maybe when he was starting out, maybe. But he started out so young. I mean, I went through every video. So
Yeah.
You really don't think you would have seen him in the crowd that you were in? Because I mean, to me, that seems crazy. Like I would recognize him instantly. Like even just walking down the street and then
I just was so unaware of that. I didn't realize. Honestly, I didn't realize how much money you could earn from being a subscriber and a viewer of Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
And it just seems like, like why risk not having consumed it, not being a subscriber.
Because I think
It's some kind of stupid.
It's
the
the
thing of
liability.
just- it's when preparation meets opportunity, and you run into Mr. Beast, and
Yeah.
if you're not subscribed, you're just negative.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
losing money.
Yeah, I always say that it's 50% luck, 50% making sure you're consuming the right stuff.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I'm consuming the right stuff.
Look,
I love that.
Pete, please go easy on that though. Sometimes he slurs his words after drinking that.
He's always on my ass about
It just
this.
looks like beer. I'm worried about it.
And
That
why
is
would,
beer, right?
No, it's actually just all water.
Is it really not?
Oh, that's a
beer?
liquid death.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it
That's
looks like
awesome.
something you drink at like a club or like a concert, like a punk rock show. That's like beer, like
Yeah.
a tall boy.
Like you feel like you're always in the in crowd, and it's awesome drinking that.
Yeah. But
That's
so okay,
awesome.
so the next challenge, guys, we
Hanging
had
from
someone
the pull up.
hanging from pull-up bar, and for every
10,
second
yeah.
they get $100.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
He got 15K.
Yeah, 2 minutes 20 seconds.
Ain't bad.
I will say this is a moment where I thought the Beast economy was a little skewed, because the guy who comes up later in the video, he won $100 for every video that he watched, but this guy it's $100 for every second on the bar. I think there's like some.
There should be more weight to the MrBeast videos.
Yeah, I think he should have
agree.
paid out
I
more
agree.
to those clicks, even though that was an ungrateful, really bad.
No, but he got 5K
Contestant.
off the top off of that because the guy paid it forward.
Yeah.
But that's only because he paid it forward.
Yeah.
I think the base
Yeah.
investment should have been worth a little bit
a little bit more.
The mathematics could probably be worked out a little bit more.
Because then also he's doing these like challenges where it's just like the 100K dart throw. Dude missed it.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what
he
I
had
mean?
some real tough. He had some real tough ones.
He did.
Yeah.
But part of me thinks that. Okay, part of me thinks that he's got a plan for some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's. I think like, and because I'm a businessman and MrBeast is obviously a businessman. You look at that. He is punishing the guy for not being a consumer of his stuff, and I kind of agree with that. Like, if you're going on the MrBeast show
The
has
program.
a subscriber and you've only watched 6 videos, I'm like, well, that guy's not a
You
real.
need to be
That's
punished.
not a- that's not
You
a
need to
real
be-
fan. You're not
You
doing,
need to be punished.
Let ignorance speak for itself.
Yeah,
That's
let
what
him
I
look like a
to say.
complete buffoon.
Yeah.
He got so lucky that guy gave it. I mean, if I was
Yeah.
MrBeast,
That guy was
I
a
might have.
dick. That guy was a dick.
Yeah, I might have been like, do you want to take this 5K, pass it along, and double it? And he'd be like, no, I'll take it. I'll be like, no, actually, you're gonna double it.
Well, and also before you pass it on, you should know if the person you're passing it on to is a certified POS.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
not watching MrBeast.
Yeah,
Because I would have kept it at that
A
point.
POS who should have left set with his tail tucked between
Yeah.
his legs.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
He was a
just
coward.
yeah,
really shameful stuff.
it was.
Now, Larry, do you think that guy was a renter or a landlord?
Yeah. What mindset?
Based off of the mindset of not watching
renter.
MrBeast
A renter.
videos.
Wow.
He's not thinking through. He's not thinking. He's showing up. I mean, he probably woke up, 72 hours. He heard he had the opportunity, and he's like, "Well, I'll just check in on MrBeast and see what he's about." And I'm like, you gotta do your research. You gotta understand what you're walking into, what the dangers are, what the pitfalls are. If you think you're gonna go in there, you can win. Like some of those things were $100K.
Yeah.
You're fooling nobody.
Yeah, you can win a house, and you're going in there with no ammo on what to expect. What
Because
are you doing?
he's not going in there with a landlord mentality. And the
Yeah.
landlord mentality you're saying is just watching MrBeast videos.
Watching them. Yeah. What else would you do if you knew that was coming? Like, what would you be doing if you had 2 weeks to prepare for MrBeast?
Yeah.
What
Come
would you
on.
do?
Yeah.
Well, what do you do? What do you do day to day that would take up your time from preparing yourself for that?
Well, I know sometimes I'm late to MrBeast videos. I really try not to be, but typically it's like work. It takes up a lot of my time.
Some people would make the argument that renters have to go to work
Yeah.
to make money, so
Or
they
they
don't
just
have
have, like,
as
other
much time to
chores,
make
errands.
MrBeast.
But like that's
to
still
watch
like
I'm a
MrBeast.
little-
I still like immediately as
But you
soon
can
as I
just
get a chance.
take like some time. You can just take like 2 weeks off.
That's what I typically end up doing. If
Potentially,
that ever,
if it's paid, because not all jobs have paid time off.
I mean, most do. So like, it's a matter of just getting a job that does offer. that.
Yeah,
Because yeah, like I mean, my situation, I do take some paid time off. Like if I really feel like I am really slacking on watching the latest MrBeast video, I will make sure that I carve out time in my schedule to do it. And I mean, as a renter, I do resent the fact a little bit that I'm grouped in with the POS, like the guy in the video.
That's annoying.
But I understand, like, that
I
is the
guess I'm just
implication of-
confused that if you know you have the opportunity to win a Lamborghini, you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
can't you just tell your boss that what's happening or
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay, so there was actually this comes later in we'll get to it. But so there was a guy who won $20K from an arm wrestle. That's just textbook Beast. Gonna happen.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
So MrBeast, this is me kind of. Who are all the people around him? Like
Chris,
Chris,
Chandler,
Drake.
Nolan.
They don't kind of it's MrBeast's channel, and they're kind of.
They have.
Do
YouTube
they pay
channels,
him
too.
to be on it? Is he kind of like charged? Does he charge them to be on? Because I saw that they had the opportunity to win some money for being on it too.
Oh, interesting. Do you think he should almost be like a video landlord in a way? Like,
Well,
if
I'm
YouTubers
kind of
come
thinking
in,
that I'm
they
like,
should
he's
pay
so
rent?
big. Why are and they all have their own channels too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're not Beast levels.
So I
Yeah.
guess, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a circular economy in that sense, too, because he pays them out, and I'm sure they probably do pay some kind of dividend back to be in these videos, because, like, it helps promote them.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some cool, kick-ass channels, but ultimately, it is, like, I like to say, MrBeast's world, and we're all just living in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that, yeah, I'm sure that they pay some kind of premium to be in it, and I think
Yeah.
it's interesting. I haven't.
Or is this
thought
like
much
their?
about
Is
it.
this like what were you guys talking about? Like this is like their work. They're like they work for him.
They might. I don't know if they get paid a flat rate or they just get the opportunities to win money through Beast by being in the videos.
Yeah.
It seems more like fun than work, but I'm sure it is like they probably have like a W-2, which is what I had when I did.
I would
fill
hope
one
so.
out When
Unless this is just a gig for them each time.
Yeah.
maybe they're contractors. Yeah.
Could be.
I don't know what any of that means, but
Well, so the next challenge I thought was a real testament to the idea of if you put your trust and faith into Beast, he will reward you. So he had a guy, he offered him 1K, and he said, now you could actually earn 10K if you let, who was it, Chandler punch him in the face. Well, he said if you let Chandler punch you in the face.
yeah.
The guy thought about it. He said, all right, punch me in the face.
Yeah.
No, Beast says, hold on.
But hold on, it's not punch me in the face. It's punch you in the face.
Punch you in the face.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because
So
the
what does
trick
he do?
was there's a stipulation.
What does Beast do? He does a loophole.
Yeah. Do you know much about loopholes?
I do know. Actually, I do know a lot about loopholes, and that was actually one of my favorite parts of MrBeast because it showed such a complete understanding of just legalese.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys, I don't want to jump in because I was so excited, but like then he brings out.
So he brings out a mannequin that has
Yes.
a label on him that says
you.
So then Chandler punches the mannequin labeled you in the face.
knocks
So
his head off.
Yeah, clean
you
off.
got punched
Yeah.
in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that guy got rewarded.
Yeah, got
Yes.
decimated. And I like, yeah, I mean that was cool to see, just like a fun little loophole. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
Trust
like
Beast
yeah.
always. Trust him. If you're on, if you're in a Beast video, trust him.
yeah,
Put your heart and soul into him. Now the next guy. So this is what I was trying to get to. He
yeah.
got a McDonald's employee.
Yeah.
Who the boss must have been cool with this guy coming on. And then
That's
the
what
guy.
I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. So I think this guy's like, look, Beast is here. The dude was blindfolded. He had 2 burgers, and Beast was like, "You're gonna try both of them and tell me which one is Burger King and which one is McDonald's." Dude doesn't even bite. He just has his McDonald's.
yeah.
that
How did he
was
know?
amazing.
That was really cool. I mean, knowing his brand that well.
And then the boys came up with this other challenge where they're just like, "This guy's a subscriber. We got to treat him really well. He's VIP." They said this is
Yeah.
a challenge. Take 3 steps. You get paid how much?
I think it was 10K.
It's 10K.
10K for 3
10K.
steps.
Wow.
Couple months rent.
That's like a month's rent in LA.
Month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
I mean, if I knew he was making 10, if I saw one of my tenants on MrBeast,
Yeah.
Are you upping your tenant's rent if you see them on a MrBeast challenge?
I mean, if I might pop. I mean, I might go into some of that legalese that MrBeast knows so much about and hit them with some, pop in their house,
a little
look
loophole.
at
Yeah,
stuff. Say, I don't remember proving any of these pictures being hung on the wall.
Oh, that's a good one,
Do you
yeah.
mind if I take a look at some of the damages that's been done behind it?
Yeah.
And then just
Mhm.
be like, oh, it looks like you went through kind of a critical wire. It's gonna cost $25K to fix this.
That happened to me
type of
once.
stuff.
I did that at it was like my college dorm. I got punished for that.
Yeah.
What are some
It's
other
crazy when that
other
happens.
loopholes you can kind of go through with renters?
What are some of them? Well, I don't want to give away all my
Sure, yeah.
secrets. I think it's a lot of it comes down to when tenants ask you to come fix their property,
Sure.
it's kind of the most opportune moment to spot any discrepancies with the place. And you got to remind yourself you don't own that. You're renting it. You don't technically belong there like I belong there. I own the deed. I've worked with the government to secure my spot in it. So notice any hair, like dog, cat hair that none of my properties you're allowed to have an animal in it. So you pick up on that really, really quickly. You go.
Now, what could the punishment for having a cat be?
They're depending on how long it is, and not that I like to. I don't do this for your guys' property. I promise.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, but I obviously have a Ring camera set up at all my properties, and I get the feed to that, so I know how long the animal has been there. And
you have a Ring camera inside their place?
Inside and outside, and
can you do that?
Yeah,
it's my house. Why would I not be allowed to?
True,
I can do whatever I want in my house.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so if I do spot any, I'll kind of wait to the moment where I'll let it build up a couple months. Say it's they've been living there, the lease is almost up. I pop in at 11 months to go fix their drain, and then you just go, what the hell is all this freaking cat hair around?
Yeah.
You're not approved to have a cat in this house. That's gonna be $11,000, $1,000 a month. I didn't realize there's another tenant.
I gotta say, Larry, my favorite loophole that you ever pulled with us was that time that our oven wasn't working, and we put in the maintenance request, and you sent some guy over, and I don't even know what language he was speaking.
He was speaking like Mongolian or something.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Multiple languages even. He was slipping in and out. We couldn't figure out what he was saying.
We couldn't tell him what the problem was. He couldn't communicate with us, so he just left.
Yeah, and the whole time I'm just thinking, Larry, where did you even find this guy?
No, and it's a great loophole because if I was a landlord, I would have done the same thing. You send a guy, doesn't speak the language, can't solve the problem, but you did fulfill the maintenance order, which is genius.
Yeah, that is right. I did fulfill the maintenance order, and I believe the end result of that was you guys had to pay to fix it yourself.
Yep. Yeah. Check mark, Larry.
Well, it was the pilot light. We had to replace the pilot light.
Yeah, and that's something you guys should know how to do on your own.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, you should. Well, you're almost teaching us how to develop character.
Yeah, I always think of it as when you guys are young, and it's it's almost like I always imagine myself kind of as a father figure when I have tenants like you guys, so I can obviously, and I have a couple guys in my network, handymen that can come over and probably can fix anything. I ask them to do their best to not. And then if they end up accidentally fixing something, I get a new guy. But yeah, so I think that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the business. It's really ground up of
feels scientific almost, which is hard for me to understand.
Yeah.
But it's cool that you have it
is there is there because there's unions for a lot of jobs, but do landlords have unions?
Well, we don't have I would never call what we have a union. I don't know. I don't really understand unions. I think they're a bad thing. We have a landlord league though. It's a Los Angeles based organization comprised of landowners. And we kind of as a collective pay some dues to keep us afloat in times of needs, and we're also building a kind of significant portfolio in the U.S. stock market and other equities and other forms of storages of value.
So could we invest in that?
No.
Okay. Well, so and we got your voicemail and you got our check, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, of course.
You guys are doing a fall fundraiser?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, this is perfect timing. To have you come on and promote that because honestly, are you guys doing pretty well getting towards your goal?
Yeah, we surprisingly are. There's a lot of sympathy. I think for people like me, and I think I do an amazing job as a landlord, and I again give you guys deals on rent, and I think a lot of my tenants feel that way. So I think when they realize that we're struggling because of the novel coronavirus and something about there's the WGA and SAG strikes happening that I don't really understand, but it made it hard for some people to pay rent. We got hit kind of where we've been getting hit hardly.
It's ongoing.
Yeah, it's not, and it doesn't seem like it's stopping. And so for our point of view, it's kind of necessary in these times when our rate of capital allocation is slowing down, that we find ways to increase that. And so we just asked for a little bit of money. It's $2, $1 a day, $365 to $650.
I saw, though, a viral video that it was a girl getting a voicemail call, and it was that your fundraising drive. You asked for $600. That's a lot of money.
Not in the grand scheme of things. If you break it down to kind of the $150, $2 a day, when it's keeping your local landlords afloat in a really meaningful way.
Yeah.
Also, like, we are heading into a recession, so it's like better to store up for the tough times.
Yeah. Cash is looking like a very attractive asset to have on hand, and it seems like our tenants have a little extra lying around, so why not help some people out that are struggling?
Yeah.
Well, so Larry, how do you feel about some people trying to clown on you online for that voicemail? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen any of the comments. No, I didn't realize that.
You don't seem like much of like
it was
an
just
online
you.
guy
You recorded.
anyway, right?
You recorded a stock voicemail.
Yeah,
I
did.
just sent it out to all your tenants, right?
Yes.
Because I heard it. I'm like, okay, that's literally the same one we got.
Yeah.
People were just saying like, oh, like F landlords, like, this guy sucks. Like,
Mal
what's
was
he need money
right.
for?
I don't even know what that like. What is that a reference to?
Just random people commenting, but
I mean, listen. I think there's definitely a difference in mindset when it comes to being a landlord and when it comes to being a renter. So I could definitely understand why some people who are renters wouldn't fully understand what we're trying to do at the Landlord League. I don't think there's anything malicious that we do. I think it's a very simple asking for a donation. You can do it or you can't do it. And all I know is that the people who are good people that I like have paid it. And honestly, there are some that haven't, and it makes me consider what am I doing letting them kind of live on my land.
because they're living in your house.
They're like troublemakers.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a hard. I'm like, it's very difficult to have to remind some of those people. I'm like, don't. You don't live here. You don't live.
It's
here.
your house.
It's my house.
It's your house.
If I wanted to go in there, I could live there, right?
Yeah.
So
Should we get back to paint dodgeball? That was the next.
that was a fun one.
This was an inverse of the question: would you let MrBeast kick you in the nuts for like $10,000? Obviously, yes.
Yes.
But would you throw a ball at some other guy's nuts?
At MrBeast, like gang squad members
nuts
Yeah.
for like $6K or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, definitely, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fair.
Yeah. I thought he was overreacting a little bit. I think he was a little. It was more of a surprise.
Yeah.
Every time he got hit, then it was like painful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a shock. That's all.
And then Mr. Beast was very compassionate about it. He came over there and he said, "Oh my God, is it actually hurting you?" And he's like, "No, I'm just surprising."
Right. He did, yeah.
And he let him take the blindfold off so he could just stand still because I think he was like, "Damn, am I hurting this guy?" So that was actually, I thought, an admirable thing.
That's awesome.
That was admirable as hell. And then the next challenge I thought was really insane because basically MrBeast gave a guy an opportunity to make $1 million.
Yeah.
He had that opportunity. All he had to do was throw a corn husk in a tiny hole that was like 100, 200 feet away or something.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't even go for it.
No, he kind of... You think that guy was a renter?
I think that guy was a
Must
renter.
have been,
I also think that there is a pattern of MrBeast of like, if you go big and you fail, he will reward you. And
That's
if
the
you
thing.
go small and you
Go safe.
then he's like, whatever, you lose. Like,
Yes, because even the guy was like, oh, I'm going to go for the 100.
Yeah.
So it was like brackets. The closer to you was like $100, 10,000, and then all the way, the furthest was $1 million. And the guy's like, I'll go for the 100 thing for the last throw. And Beast is like, what if I pay you 100 to not go for the 100?
Yeah. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
And he
had
didn't
to
give
be-
him anything at the end of it too. On top of that, he said, "Here's your prize," and it was the corn husk. He didn't give him, or the corn. He didn't give him the $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that guy was a lost cause.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest L's in MrBeast history.
You get on MrBeast, you got to play big.
Yeah. It's
Well,
easy.
Yeah, and if you don't play big, you're gonna lose big because you have to have the inverse of it. It's really genius.
Yeah. I mean, the whole entire video, there's this B plot playing out, and I thought that was a really cool dynamic. That there's all these challenges that we're following MrBeast to, but then there's also this guy trying to break open a safe with a pickaxe.
He had a choice between a pickaxe, sledgehammer, and a shovel or something.
Yeah.
So by the time after the cornhole challenge, the guy Andrew is able to.
Well, he picks he picks the pickaxe.
Yeah.
Which I thought was incredibly helpful in that.
It looked like the best choice, honestly.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I thought because the shovel, I'm not sure you could dig your way into a safe.
I guess not. I guess looking at it, I was like, maybe I'll go sledgehammer if I was in his shoes. I think.
But he didn't know, right? He didn't know what his task was going into it, so he blindly chose the pickaxe.
Yeah.
Because of Minecraft.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or no, I think it was Chandler made some joke. He's like Fortnite, which is like a funny
the Fortnite
joke.
joke.
He's,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's
turning
what
it on its head.
Yes. That was
Yeah.
So he's working on. It's a safe. It's a filled up with Orbeez and another safe. He opens up that safe. There's a safe inside that safe. There's like another safe in a safe. He gets a diamond. So a $6,000 diamond.
$15,000 in diamonds.
Oh, 15. Oh,
he gets a
50.
second diamond. I think maybe there
sweaty.
was
Sweaty.
one.
at
Oh,
the
that
end
guy.
of that.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
sweating like a hog in July.
That was crazy. That was actually a lot of work where I was surprised that he had to do that.
And this is the thing: is most people don't realize that you could work with your body, make some cash in life. If you work with your mind, watch all these MrBeast videos, you're subscribed, you'll make so much more.
Yes. Yeah.
You have to work with your mind in this economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he won $25,000 because MrBeast, he was a subscriber, so he's like, here's a bonus 10 grand, and I thought that was nice.
Exactly.
Nice.
For
Yeah.
all of that work, you can make almost twice as much just by being a subscriber to MrBeast.
Yeah.
I think that's the most impressive thing about what he does is
It's a sick mindset.
yeah.
Now, the next challenge, though, I will say this kind of opened up the floodgates for me a little bit, just in terms of controversy. They have a guy throwing darts at the wall.
Yeah.
His name is Brandon. That's a fact. We know his name is Brandon.
Yeah.
As he's throwing the darts, the boys are cheering him on. They say, "Let's go, Brandon."
Yeah. They do.
I-
it slips out.
It slips out. They said it. Maybe they said it a few times.
But look, I did the research. I went down to the timestamp. This thing came out pre-2020 election.
Do we think MrBeast was predicting the rise of Q, MAGA, even January 6th at this point? Let's go, Brandon. I mean, he's almost forecasting the political shift of Biden getting in and people just kind of revolting against that.
I mean, MrBeast does have an activated online base, but I don't think his intentions were like, I don't know.
Why do you think he said it, though?
I think it was just a show of support. Maybe it just slipped out. I feel like, I mean, nowadays you have to be so careful with what you say politically, but I think it might have just been genuine excitement got swept up in it, and just I think
It
that's
could have
maybe all
been.
that
It could have been. Larry, do you have any thoughts?
After watching a lot of MrBeast videos, I think that there's something thoughtful about what he does. I have a hard time thinking, that is on accident.
Yeah.
I also, I don't know if you remember that video. He was saying he was gonna pay for his kid's college and he had a medical issue.
Yeah.
MrBeast moved the money up so it was easier for him to hit the dart.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you noticed that he hit the balloon. When he hit the balloon didn't pop at first.
It's true.
And
Wait, I might have missed this.
And
it was a surprise moment.
And then the balloon, the dart hit the balloon. The balloon didn't pop, and they had to help the balloon pop because he'd hit it.
Oh, wow.
And so I just feel like there's all of that stuff leading up to it that feels very planned out.
A lot of metaphors.
Yeah, exactly. I have a hard time imagining that the Let's Go Brandon was
accidental.
accidental. And was it pre-2020 elections or was it during it? Yeah.
It was August 22nd.
I guess I'm just saying, I don't think that this was Beast secretly saying his support for something or trying to wake up people to do something.
Yeah.
We also know for a fact, again, MrBeast wasn't at January 6th.
Yeah, but
so
maybe gearing up for the 2020 election. Maybe he made an earnest slip up. Maybe he meant to say, "Let's go Biden," supporting Biden.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and he just maybe it was again with all the excitement.
Well,
he probably maybe
here's a
slipped
question
up.
for you guys. Do you think January 6th would have played out differently if MrBeast was there? Do you think it actually would have been successful, hit the benchmark it was trying to hit, accomplish what needed to happen in some people's eyes?
If he like offered people $100K to sit at Nancy Pelosi's desk,
If MrBeast saw the discourse on the internet saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, we're going to storm the Capitol," whatever, and he takes that and says, "What if it's a challenge, guys? We stormed the U.S. Capitol, and it's a MrBeast challenge. Everyone who gets inside gets like 10K or something."
Wow.
Would January 6th have gone different?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he can activate his people in a political fashion quite yet.
I mean, I think it still would have been a lost cause. I think a lot of people would have left unhappy that day because it's tough to get to those doors of the Capitol.
Yeah.
But those who got in would have won big, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would have inspired a couple more to make it in. But ultimately, what were
I guess I'm just thinking.
once you get the 10K, what are you there for?
In my eyes, and then maybe it's double or nothing.
Yeah.
Now he's like, boom, we're gonna get inside even further. We're gonna get all up in the government.
Yeah.
January 6th, I could see it being January 7th, January 8th. This could be a 3-day long challenge because MrBeast videos take a long time to film.
Yeah.
What's the one he's doing now? It's 100 days.
Two people in a room.
Yeah, 2 people in a room for 100 days.
I could see him doing starting January 6th. You have to be in the Capitol for 100 days.
Yes.
That's probably what the challenge would have been.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, maybe then. Maybe.
Yeah.
But
He should do that with the senators. Like, you have to spend 100 days in this Capitol room.
I mean, it really is posing an interesting question of how powerful is MrBeast,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously shown the capability of mobilizing large groups of people to do absurd things. It's, when will he use that power for, I guess,
Political
good
change.
or evil? And I guess it's only, I'm sure it's only a matter of time as long as he stays relevant. I mean, I was looking, he since I started, I mean, it's like how many followers, he's still gaining followers, right, on YouTube?
He
Pretty
is-
readily, yeah.
It's either he's going to have to run for president, which I would happily vote for him, or the U.S. is kind of done building cities, I feel like. But if he were to make his own beast city, I would happily move there and rent from him.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a great landlord.
A beast complex.
I would love. I mean, it'd be great to have someone like MrBeast into the Landlords League.
Yeah.
To be completely frank with you, it is a really interesting question of like, he's got this social power to generate somewhat of a movement. It's a question, I guess, of when does that get utilized in a meaningful way? Does it get utilized in a meaningful way?
Yeah. Because it's tough, like getting, closing out their YouTube app and going to vote, that only happens once a year anyway. But it's like if it times up, or if it doesn't work out timing wise, it's really tough to close out the YouTube app and do stuff.
I mean, I agree with that. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on YouTube.
Yeah.
But so, okay, guys, after that, what else? He gave some money to charity. That was really nice to see.
That was nice. Yeah.
Sweet.
He does a bottle flip thing. A guy flips a bottle for 1K. He can double it. He flips it.
Yeah.
Gets it again. 2K. If he were to flip it again, it'd be 4K. But the guy stops there.
Yeah, but then they have an amazing cut where everyone goes safe, 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 and then they cut to the safe challenge.
Yeah.
Really good segue.
Which I was like, that's a thing where I'm like, was MrBeast planning that? He's like, if he goes safe, then we all say safe.
It's like bring us home.
Yeah.
And it's just that nice transition to the end.
How much of it do you think is scripted? Like, do you think he plans that or is that all improv on his end?
I think it might be like a Curb Your Enthusiasm type thing where there's probably beats they're looking to hit, and then I don't know. I mean, he's very comfortable in front of the camera, so I think he has no problem improv.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah. But instead of like bad things happening to him, it's like all Mr. Beast.
It's the
is always,
opposite
like,
of Curb Your
looking-
Enthusiasm,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
always looking
Yeah.
good.
Well, Larry, I mean, but before we wrap up, is there anything you want to say about landlords or the Landlord League? By the way, it's hard to find online.
Yeah.
You guys, is there a way people can join or something? I couldn't find any information about
It's
it.
more of it's an invite only organization. It's a tight knit crew. We meet quarterly, check in on each other. We obviously have incredible sway in the local politics. We have some city council members who are part of the Los Angeles Landlord League. I don't know if you guys notice. It's like we are. I think the thing is like I feel like MrBeast understands us implicitly. It's really about moving the gears of politics and to kind of lean in your favor, and rightfully so. Like we're providing probably the hardest service that anybody else in the country is providing. Like we might have the hardest. I always think of landlords as having the hardest job, and I don't know. I'm really thankful for you guys for introducing me to MrBeast, because I saw someone almost working as hard as me on their YouTube videos.
And it's so interesting to hear from you and to, like, learn and discover the fact that, like, MrBeast, as accomplished as, like, I think he is, he still has room to grow. He has other ways to get more involved in accumulating power and doing just dope things.
And potentially becoming a landlord.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
Needs to happen soon.
Could be cool.
All right, guys, let's get our roars and wrap this up.
Closing out roars. Again,
you know
with
who the landlord
depth,
is, guys. Come on, that was nice.
the breadth, the timbre of it.
Yeah, and very seriously, rent is due on the 1st of the month.
Yeah.
We got it
I just
coming on the way.
thank you guys.
Subscribe now, or we will delete your Fortnite account.